Massive bloodline betrayal tease on SmackDown, the best and worst of SmackDown. Real reason why Ronda Rousey left WWE. What is Vince McMahon's greatest creation in wrestling? Updated Survivor Series WarGames match card. WWE suddenly announced massive change for SmackDown next week. Paul Heyman's Major John Cena tease. Solo Sikoa sends a message to Cody Rhodes after he saves LA Knight. Let's jump right into it. The best and worst of SmackDown. This week, SmackDown saw Road Dogg take over commentary on behalf of Corey Graves. Additionally, Paul Heyman hyped Solo Sikoa following his crown jewel match against John Cena, taunting the WWE legend for not being present to face his failures. Let's dive into the best and worst from the latest edition of SmackDown. Best, the Street Profits picking up their pace again, becoming #1 contenders for the tag team titles. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford are an impressive tag team, winning each brand's titles for one reign. Their alliance with Bobby Lashley enabled them to showcase their grim and dark side. The revamp of their personas to suited and booted stars with a toned-down entrance theme worked in their favor. The dominant duo won the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships on separate occasions in 2020. On the latest edition of SmackDown, they defeated the Brawling Brutes and Pretty Deadly to become the #1 contenders for the undisputed WWE Tag Team title. The current champions, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, have annihilated the division. Another title run for the Street Profits would cement their legacy and create a platform for them to display their dominance too. Worst, Cameron Grimes booking on SmackDown. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller have been running amok on SmackDown, mocking whoever comes their way. Their tactics with Kevin Owens got him suspended last week. Theory was on commentary this week while Grayson Waller faced Cameron Grimes in singles competition. The 30-year-old was drafted to the Blue brand this year as part of the WWE draft. His limited television time and lack of feuds have heavily impacted his connection with wrestling fans. Cameron Grimes upheld a reasonably impressive fan base on NXT, but the same is yet to be done on the main roster. When leaving commentary, Austin Theory mocked and called out Road Dogg, who was taking over the role in Corey Graves' absence. Best, Cody Rhodes possibly finding a new alliance on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes has kept busy since forging an alliance with Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso for WarGames against the Judgment Day. With Nick Aldis at the helm of SmackDown's leadership, he is never keen on seeing Raw stars upstage his show. The American Nightmare was spotted in his office this week and proceeded to have a conversation with the WWE official. The main event match featured LA Knight against Jimmy Uso for the major upset the latter caused a crown jewel. The match was interrupted by Solo Sikoa, but Knight ended up winning anyway. In the aftermath of the bout, the Bloodline members pounced on the 41-year-old, leaving the American Nightmare to even the numbers game. His team needs a 5th member for Survivor Series WarGame. The former champion could contact LA Knight to take his spot with Kevin Owens being suspended. It would be apt given the hype and fan backing the witty talker has in the WWE universe. Worst, lack of build-up in Carlito's match against Santos Escobar at Survivor Series. Carlito officially re-signed with WWE nearly 4 months ago, but his television time since then has been abysmal. He saved Rey Mysterio from Santos Escobar's outburst last week, but failed to confront him with much effort for his action. This week on the Blue brand, Escobar talked about his betrayal and agreed with Dominic Mysterio's comments about his father. Zelina Vega walked out to talk some sense into him, but failed to do so. Escobar mocked former Legado of Del Fantasma members Joaquin Wilde, Cruz del Toro's inadequacy to do anything about it. Carlito ran out for a save, but Escobar escaped the ring by then. While it suits the storyline for the former United States champion to take over while Rey Mysterio is out due to injury, the lack of a promo and the intensity of a feud between the two disintegrates the hype of a sudden match at a premium live event. Best, Becky Lynch is the final member of the women's WarGames match. SmackDown kicked off with Damage Control addressing its new alliances and officially adding Asuka and Kairi Sane to their faction. Later, Nick Aldis gave Flair, Belair, and Shotzi an ultimatum to find a 4th member for a women's WarGames match by the end of the night. The trio seemingly came across a few potential candidates in Mia Yim and Zelina Vega, who got attacked by Damage Control. Charlotte Flair made a call to a friend, who was later revealed to be her former friend turned rival, Becky Lynch. Many anticipated it would be Jade Cargill, given the hype surrounding her debut and teasers. The Man and Flair clashed at Survivor Series 2021 in a champion versus champion match, putting their titles on the line and their real-life friendship. 2 years later, Flair and Lynch have joined forces to take down Bayley, Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Asuka at the same premium live event. The revelation garnered mixed reactions from the WWE universe as they look forward to her future following NXT. Real reason why Ronda Rousey left WWE. Ronda Rousey parted ways with WWE in October 2023. The baddest woman on the planet recently shocked the pro wrestling world by making her Ring of Honor debut after being present backstage for the tapings of AEW Collision and Rampage. The fans might be wondering why Ronda left the sports entertainment juggernaut in the first place. For those who are wondering, Ronda Rousey absolutely hated WWE's travel schedule, and that might have factored into her decision to part ways with the Stanford-based promotion. Even Brock Lesnar did not like the promotion's husband's hectic road trips, and that was one of the reasons he parted ways with Vince McMahon in 2004. Ronda has gone on record about her dislike for WWE's travel schedule in the past. Back in 2020, the former Raw Women's Champion told Stephanie Chase of Digital Spy that the traveling part about WWE was the absolute worst. Additionally, she wanted to work with her friends toward the end of her career in WWE. She was able to partially fulfill her wish by putting over Shayna Baszler at SummerSlam 2023. However, the same cannot be said about Marina Shafir and Jessamyn Duke, both of whom were released before Ronda could have had the opportunity to work with them. With that being said, the former UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion is finally getting to work alongside Shafir on the independent scene, and in AEW, she made her Ring of Honor debut alongside The Problem at the recently held taping. It remains to be seen if the two will appear together on AEW's other programming in the future. Ronda Rousey last appeared on WWE television at SummerSlam 2023. The 36-year-old star put over Shayna Baszler at the biggest party of the summer. Ronda lost to Shayna in their MMA rules match in under 8 minutes. It was reported at the time that Ronda had a hard-out clause in her contract that allowed her to exit from the company before her contract could expire. Ronda and Shayna were the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion when she told Vince McMahon she would be leaving the company in July. What are your reactions to Ronda Rousey making her Ring of Honor debut? What is Vince McMahon's greatest creation in wrestling? Former WWE manager Dutch Mantell feels that The Undertaker is Vince McMahon's greatest creation in wrestling. Back in the early 1990s, The Undertaker broke into WWE. He was a figment of Vince McMahon's imagination brought to life by the man who portrayed the character, Mark Calloway. The Phantom quickly became a top star in the company and went on to have a Hall of Fame career spanning over 3 decades. Speaking on the latest episode of Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk, Mantell stated that Mr. McMahon hit a home run with The Undertaker's idea. He explained the creative brilliance by claiming that WWE can book the Phantom on a show in 2023 and he will still be a top draw. The Undertaker, that's his best one. Don't you think? He's still going today? Well, yeah, you can have a great idea, but is your next idea as good as the first one? Mostly of the time, no. So I'm saying you missed my whole question. That was his greatest idea and they can live on it. They can still book him today and he would still draw because he's an institution. That's what I was saying, Dutch Mantell said. There are very few stars that can match the charisma or drawing power of The Undertaker. The legendary star is regarded as one of the greatest of all time and often finds a place on Mount Rushmore for wrestling. Do you agree with Dutch Mantell? What is Vince McMahon's greatest creation in wrestling? Updated Survivor Series WarGames match card. Here is your first look at the updated Survivor Series WarGames 2023 match card after the November 17 episode of SmackDown. Rey Mysterio's injury will finally be avenged by a 39-year-old star at the upcoming Premium Live event. The star in question is none other than Carlito. The Latino World Order member arrived to attack Santos Escobar and Joaquin Wilde tonight on SmackDown but could not get his hands on him. WB announced that Escobar and Carlito would meet in a singles competition as part of the updated Survivor Series WarGames 2023 match card. For those unaware, Escobar took out Rey Mysterio with a brutal attack last week on the blue brand. The 5th match for Survivor Series 2023 will see Team Belair, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch take on Team Damage Control, Bayley, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Asuka in a women's WarGames match. The match was booked after Becky Lynch joined the baby faces in the closing moments of SmackDown to take out Damage Control. It is worth mentioning that Asuka had officially joined the heel faction earlier during the show. Here is the updated Survivor Series WarGames 2023 match card as of Friday, November 17. Gunther, the champion, versus The Miz singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Rhea Ripley, the champion, versus Zoe Stark singles match for the Women's World Championship. Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins versus The Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough. Men's WarGames match. Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control, Bayley, Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane. Women's WarGames match. Carlito versus Santos Escobar singles match. Cody Rhodes will captain Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso against The Judgment Day. Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough in the men's WarGames match at the Survivor Series 2023 Premium Live event. Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre are expected to join the babyface and heel team, respectively, on Raw next Monday. With that being said, WWE apparently teased a new member for Team Cody on SmackDown this week. The American Nightmare unexpectedly showed up on the blue brand to help LA Knight fend off the Bloodlines duo of Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. It is possible that Knight could be the 5th member of Team Cody instead of Randy Orton, leading to a feud between the two after the upcoming Premium Live event. Survivor Series WarGames 2023 goes down on Saturday, November 25 at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Are you excited about the WWE Survivor Series WarGames 2023? WWE suddenly announced massive change for SmackDown next week. WWE announced that next week's episode of SmackDown will not air on Fox. Instead, Instead, it'll be on another channel. Next Friday night will be the final show before Survivor Series WarGames. 2 new matches were announced for the upcoming premium live event on the latest episode of the Blue brand. The Women's WarGames match was finally made official. Team Damage Control, which consists of Bayley, Io Sky, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, will take on the team of Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Shotzi, and Becky Lynch. A singles match between Santos Escobar and Carlito was also announced for WWE Survivor Series. WWE suddenly announced on SmackDown this week that next week's show will air on S1 instead of Falak. Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus the Street Profits for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship was advertised for the show. Plus, Kevin Owens is set to return from his suspension next week. He'll be a guest on the Grayson Waller Effect. Since it'll be the go-home show for Survivor Series WarGames, it'll be interesting to see what will take place on the Blue brand next week. What would you like to see happen on SmackDown next week? Paul Heyman's John Cena tease. The latest episode of SmackDown saw Paul Heyman cut a phenomenal promo where he teased a John Cena appearance. His promo had fans on the edge of their seats, leaving the legendary WWE manager Dutch Mantell in awe. The fans saw Paul Heyman come out with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso on Friday Night SmackDown. Heyman teased an appearance by the 16-time world champion before stating that Cena was too ashamed to come out and say goodbye to the WWE Universe. He put Solo Sikoa over by stating that the Enforcer defeated John Cena at Crown Jewel 2023 and ended his career. He added that the multiple Sonoran spikes to Cena's throat left him unable to speak. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk after SmackDown, Dutch Mantell claimed that Paul Heyman had fans fooled for a while. He added that the manager did a great job with the John Cena tease. Did you think Cena would come out or not? I didn't either. But you think the fans thought, well, he might come. Well done, Dutch Mantell said. Fans will have to wait to see what the future holds for the 16-time world champion. Cena could take a break from the ring after helping the Stanford-based company put Solo Sikoa and many other stars over. Do you think John Cena will return to WWE programming anytime soon? Solo Sikoa sends a message to Cody Rhodes after he saves LA Knight. Solo Sikoa took to Twitter/X to send a 2-word message to Cody Rhodes after his surprise appearance on this week's SmackDown. Rhodes is certainly no stranger to the bloodline. In the main event of WrestleMania 39, he lost to Roman Reigns courtesy and interference from Sikoa. Leading up to the show, the American Nightmare had also defeated the Enforcer in a singles match. On SmackDown, Rhodes came to the aid of LA Knight, who was outnumbered by Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. Taking to Twitter/X, Sikoa sent a 2-word message to Rhodes. "You again," wrote Sikoa. Cody Rhodes previously opened up about his loss to Roman Reigns following WrestleMania 39. Speaking in an interview with My Mom's Basement, the American Nightmare explained how he felt after his loss in the main event of the grandest stage of them all. "I was just sitting there in the ring with my hands draped across my knees. You could see me telling myself, I verbally told myself to get up. And the only thing I learned from being in a WrestleMania main event, I know everybody was like, oh my gosh, WrestleMania main event, hardest match to get into, oh, your dad never did that, all that stuff," said Cody. Cody Rhodes then added, "The only thing I learned was, well, I gotta get back. I gotta get back and I gotta win. I can't call it, I gotta win. That was bittersweet. I mean, more bitter than anything. The only thing I was trying to do was look at as many fans as I could and let them know it'll be okay. It was a very tense, awkward, cold feeling at WrestleMania 39, so it opens up opportunities for WrestleMania 40 perhaps to be a different feeling." Cody Rhodes could cross paths with the Tribal Chief in the lead up to WrestleMania 40. However, his current focus is on the upcoming WarGames match. What are your thoughts on Sikoa's message to Rhodes? Massive bloodline betrayal tease on SmackDown. Did Paul Heyman's promo on WWE SmackDown hint at a potential betrayal in the bloodline? Solo Sikoa convincingly defeated John Cena at WWE Crown Jewel. On tonight's episode of SmackDown, Paul Heyman cut a scathing promo, taking shots at Cena and putting Solo over big time. Judging by how the Enforcer was treated in the promo and his overall presentation since his win over Cena, it seems like something big is on the horizon. Is a massive betrayal looming closer? Is Paul Heyman grooming Solo Sikoa as the next bloodline leader? Mere days ago, WWE shared an image announcing Solo's return to SmackDown following his victory over Cena. For months, Roman Reigns was the only one getting such graphics. For the entirety of the promo, Solo was positioned front and center, making it clear that WWE wanted fans' complete focus on him. Also, at one point during the promo, Heyman stated that all Cena had to do was acknowledge the real GOAT, but he can't even say goodbye to fans now that Solo has spiked him in the throat. Interestingly, Heyman didn't take Reigns' name while mentioning the real GOAT. Is Heyman brewing something sinister? He has had a history of betraying his clients, and it won't be out of character for him to cross the Tribal Chief for a much younger superstar who is steadily turning into a massive name in WWE. Only time will tell if the latest hints will lead to an unexpected betrayal and the crowning of a new Tribal Chief. Roman Reigns formed the Bloodline a while after turning heel. Today, many fans consider it one of the greatest stables in the history of WWE. The stable's strength peaked not too long ago, as evident from its massive win at last year's Survivor Series WarGames event. Today, the faction consists of Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso, and Heyman. It remains to be seen seen if the stable sees another civil war in the distant future, and if Solo becomes the new tribal chief. What do you make of these hints? Is Solo being positioned as the next tribal chief by Heyman?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted.